This is how I was able to get my hair from this to this in just under a year. And quite frankly, if I was to start my journey again, I would want this video to be out there for people like me who were in the same position as I was just a year ago. And this is just to preface that my hair isn't fully recovered yet and isn't exactly in the space or place where I'd like it to be, but it is a hell of a lot healthier than it was just a year ago because of the volume, the coils, the strength of each individual strand of hair is just so much more thicker than it was before. Because before, I feel like every curly girl going through a transition from early teen to adulthood, you basically go through a rebel phase where you just want to try something new. You want to experiment different hairstyles, different colors. And that for me is exactly what I did. I didn't straighten my hair throughout my whole childhood, maybe like once every 3-4 years behind my mum's back. I would essentially just go to my auntie's house and ask and beg her to straighten my hair for me. And yeah, I'd get it done. It'd be super cute, super long, and I'd want to do it all the time, but I didn't have straighteners at home to use to keep doing it. And basically, I'd say I thank my mum for that because I didn't go through any sort of heat damage growing up. So I still had nice, voluminous, long, luscious hair, but I just didn't wear it out. And I feel like because I didn't realize and appreciate the curls that I had back then and just really embrace my crown that I had back then, when it was stripped away, I sort of went through like a hair depression and I was like, oh my God, Jazz, what have you done? And it's only now throughout this journey that I've really put that care towards my hair and just done all of these hair treatments that I just never have done before because I hadn't had to, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm just gonna do a breakdown for you guys with what exactly I've done in order to get to this point that I am now. We're not exactly there yet, but we're in a pretty good spot. Okay, so number one, we're gonna get straight into it. If you're thinking about getting your hair bleached and you haven't done it before, you're a first timer, you don't really know if you wanna do it, but you really wanna do it because it's gonna look so nice in summer, it's gonna look beautiful, don't do it. Because I'd actually say it's just not worth the stress and the maintenance and the damage, the clumps of hair that you lose throughout the whole process. And that's unless you have hair that's made out of titanium, because yes, you will lose quite a bit of hair. Unless you've done your research and you know exactly what products will work for you in order to help ease that. It won't prevent it, but it will help maybe ease it and not lose as much and maybe maintain it a little bit. 90% of the time, people who end up bleaching their hair, a full head of hair or quite a bit of hair, they end up just reverting and dyeing their hair back because the hair can't take it. And if you already have it in mind, you want to get it done, you've got it booked, hot girl summer and all of that, yeah, okay. Make sure you do your research. What moisturizers to use, what deep conditioners to use, regular trims, bond repair masks, deep treatment masks, protein treatment, whatnot, malarkeys. Make sure you get that on lock from the beginning, because unlike some, me included, I didn't do that and I just went into it blindly. I just ended up getting my hair bleached, full head, not cute, and I ended up getting a silk press as well straight afterwards, which yeah, I'd say that was my entry level into this damage, because straight from there onwards my curls never looked the same. And I just wish someone had told me that you can't put heat straight after you've bleached your hair. I mean, yeah, I didn't really have the general cultural or hair knowledge going into this whole transition period, because yeah, I literally grew up in a white area. I have a white mum, black dad, no older sisters, no black aunties that live nearby that could give me some tips and advice that I could speak to about it. Basically, I just want to come onto here to be your big sister, your auntie, giving you that advice right now. And then number two, create a simple styling routine post hair wash day. And for me, that includes just one hair wash every 1.5 weeks, depending on how long I can make this hair last. Sometimes it could be 2 weeks and that's okay. It just essentially all depends on how well you maintain your curls throughout that period. Because me, back in the day, I'd wash my hair like every other 2 days because I'd literally be slicking my hair back constantly, loads of gel, loads of buildup, loads of products. And yeah, you just have to wash that out, because you know when you get those white little flaky bits after like day one even, it's just not cute. And you just have to keep washing it, putting water on it at least, and then conditioning it, and it's not good for your hair. And if you're trying to grow your hair out and get back its voluptuous health back, then it's just not going to help, is it, if you're constantly stripping away the natural oils, constantly washing it every day. But yeah, I do it like once every week, 2 weeks at a push. And in terms of the actual routine, what it looks like for me is I go in with Olaplex number 3 as a pre-shampoo bonding treatment. And then I go in with a clarifying shampoo to help with all of that like build up over the past week, 2 weeks with all of the products that you're using. And you just really want to give a nice deep cleanse for your scalp with all of that build up. And then you want to go in with a conditioner. When you have the conditioner in your hair, I then go in with a Denman brush or any brush that works well in your curls. Brush that through so you have that nice slip when going through. And that way, because the conditioner is a lot softer in your hair, you're able to detangle all of the knots, all of the wrap, the frizz a lot easier than you would if it was just water. And then I go in with a microfiber towel. You can literally get them from like TK Maxx, Amazon, your local hair shop, whatnot. And the reason why I use them instead of a regular cotton towel is because it causes way less friction on your hair. It's way more absorbent than your regular cotton because of how smooth the material is. And it doesn't catch on to lint, so you won't get all those little bubbles as well from your towel all over your hair. And essentially the main reason, it doesn't cause that unnecessary frizz from the friction. Next, I go in with a hair repair mask from K18. And this essentially is the GOAT when it comes to re-strengthening, rebuilding the structure of your hair. And I would say this is probably the main contender that was able to reverse my hair damage on a molecular level, because it was able to reverse the heat damage and chemical damage, which is what it's mainly known for. And with this, you're only supposed to leave it on your hair for around 4 minutes post shower. And you're not supposed to use conditioner beforehand, because this basically acts as a conditioner as well as a repair mask on top of your hair. So basically when you come out of the shower, you want to make sure that your hair is still slightly damp, towel dried, yes. Section your hair into, I put mine into 4 sections. And then for each section, you want to put 1 pump in your hand. You're supposed to use 1 pump, but I typically use 2 per section because I feel like 1 is just not enough. And then pro tip, you want to make sure to rub your hands together so that they're like bright white on your hands before you go in, because I feel like it's activated with heat beforehand. So make sure that you do that before you do it. Rub it through each section of your hair, leave it on for 4 minutes, and then you can go in with your regular styling routine. And then you will notice that your hair is starting to get more on the dry end. So in order to add more moisture into your hair, you want to go in with some warm waters first with a spray bottle, any sort of spray bottle that you have, but warm water, because it's the best way to lock in that moisture. And then the moisturizer that I use is the Red Ken Acidic Bonding for curls, which is also great for strengthening and repairing your hair going forwards. I apply that on my hair once it's wet in its individual sections. Again, I probably section my hair into like 6. And then I put a generous amount on each section because I feel like with my hair type, it needs quite a lot of moisture in order to get that defined coil that I just desire, obviously. And it's just all down to preference as well, really, with how defined you want your curls. But for me, I'd say quite a bit on each section. So as I'm editing this now, I've just realized that part of the footage has been deleted and I can't find it. Anyway, the next step is to go in with a D12 Denman detangling comb, which basically has like 3 sections in it. And the main benefit of this is to just really help volumize and retrain your curls from root to tip by just like clumping your curls together to really define and get those like nice springy coils back again. So this has like really helped me ever since I've started using it. And it was actually my hairstylist, my curly hairstylist that I've been going to the past like couple of months that actually put me onto this. So anything she says, I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. So within each of those sections, I will then split them into 2 or 3 more sections. And what I do is I comb backwards like this so that we're going from the root and adding more volume when we diffuse our hair, because if we don't do that, then we're gonna have that sort of limp and flat look, which is what we don't want. Especially at the top of the head or at the back of your hair, you wanna definitely focus on that back combing method where you comb backwards as opposed to just flat down. And then once each section is combed through evenly, I will then go in with my curling jelly, crunch the hair like so that we're able to hold in that curl. And then I will use a heat protectant. Sometimes I will use my Olaplex bonding oil because this is also a heat protectant at the same time. So I'll use that before and after I've diffused. And yeah, that is the whole styling process going forward. Okay, number 3, protein and strength treatments. Because after a couple of months, you'll start to notice that yes, your ends might still be a bit straight, limp, not really responding well, but your roots, they're coming back and they're starting to show a lot more thickness and a little bit more volume at the root, which doesn't really look so cute when that is looking all voluminous and then the ends are just... But keep this as your sign that your hair is responding well and it's working. And it's also a sign that you shouldn't give up and you just need an extra helping hand in order to get you to the finish line. And for me, I'd say I was really lucky in terms of not having to scramble to look for the best one for me. I had a friend that had gone through this process before in the past and suggested that I used Afro G. treatment, which is also super cheap and you can literally get it from anywhere, any convenience hair store or Amazon, for example. I got mine from Amazon and it's really cheap, and it comes as a 3-step treatment, or you can get this 2-step treatment, I believe, which comes with the initial treatment, the shampoo, and then the moisturizing conditioner as well. And you're supposed to use this like every 3 months, but when I was transitioning and I was in desperate need, I was using this every 6 weeks, I would say. And yeah, this is basically the holy grail for heat damaged, bleached, over processed hair that just needs that lifeboat to save them. By fusing essential things like magnesium and protein into the hair shaft by using heat, which basically just helps with splitting up the shaft of the hair, which I was really prone to and would see lots of split ends in my hair, and it just really made me feel insecure. And I feel like after using it just one time, I saw such a big difference. I was seeing coils that I hadn't seen in like months. But obviously that was just the fusion of the protein holding the coils back into their regular shape. But then obviously when I washed this then out, it would then go back to limp again. But over time, after consistent use every 6 to 8 weeks, it was strengthening my hair and I was trusting the process and getting results. And yes, I know all of this information sounds like a lot, and in terms of this whole styling process, there's a lot of steps that are within it. But that isn't to say that you won't find your styling routine, whether that is just by adding some extra hairspray to the roots, some finger coils, the backwards combing method. Yes, it is time consuming, but it isn't every day. And you want to remember that you're doing this to last you 7+ days at a time and just preserve the style and the coil of your curls instead of having that frizz after like day 2. So all of this is essentially saving you time in the long run if you think about it that way. Number 4, you want to make sure that you're utilizing what you already have when you're starting out. Because if you were like me back then, I didn't have a clue. So I was just using whatever was trending right now, any celebrity products that had just launched and everyone was using. I was on it, I was buying it. Just make sure that you're using what you already have until they're fully gone, and then that's when you want to buy in the things and invest in those products that could potentially work for you. But also note that your local drugstore will probably sell things that do the exact same things than these name brands do as well. Like, just do your research. That's the main thing that you need to do, is do the research first, because you might be able to find things at, say, Superdrug, for example, for a fraction of the price that does exactly the same thing, if not better. Like me, for example, these are the 2 products that I use and typically like to go for when it's payday, for example, and I'm in Manchester and I need a top up. I will then go to Sephora and get these. Only when I need a top up. I won't just keep buying these willy-nilly. And this is like a strength repair conditioner and a cleansing shampoo. I also have alternatives when I'm not able to go to Manchester and go to Sephora, or it's not payday yet. I will grab these from Superdrug, which is like a fraction of the price, because in a sense, say that is around £30-40 region. Whereas this cleansing shampoo does, in my eyes, does the exact same thing and is literally like £6-7-8, I believe. Or I have this shampoo and conditioner, which is for curls as well, which is also a fraction of the price and also Yucca approved and has no sulfates in it as well. So for me, that is just a bonus when I'm able to get these. Lastly, something that I'm still kind of adjusting to is weaning back from those slick backs, because obviously with those styles it causes a lot of tension on not only our curls capabilities but also our edges too. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to have a receding hairline by the age of 30, so I rebuke it. And I think that we all know that by having our hair in these styles, it causes our curls to really stretch more than they should be, and then of course losing their form over time, which of course makes it so much harder for our hair to revive. Hence why I only tend to do slick backs 1 to 2 days before wash day, and then I try to leave around 1 to 2 weeks of just doing low manipulation hairstyles, or just essentially leaving my hair out and just leaving it alone. So yeah, that goes to say everything that I've just mentioned sort of acts as a collective of tips. I don't just take one thing from this video and think that it's just going to miraculously bring your hair back together with just one thing. For example, just using the K18 strengthening treatment and then still straightening your hair like every other day. So yeah, basically the key here is just trusting the process, having the resilience, and just really focusing on closing that gap between the damaged hair that you have now and the future euphoric version of you in a year's time. And like any other progress journey, you want to make sure that you're taking those progress pictures over time. And that can be every month if you need to, just so you can see how far you've come. Because if you are like me, then maybe you've been guilty of comparing your curls to a celebrity online, or just someone you follow, another girl with curls that has been through this sort of transition period and her curls are able to fully revive in just 3 months. but you can't, and you're using the same products that she has done, you just need to remember that this is your race, and just don't compare yourself to anyone else, because your hair's different, you are different, you are unique, you are your own person. So make sure that you're using yourself as your own reference point instead, because I can assure you that by doing that and taking those pictures yourself and not comparing yourself will just keep you so much more sane. And that is it for today's video, guys. I hope you were able to take some value, some tips from this video in some way, shape or form. And if you are just seeing this video now and you've just started your hair care journey, I wish you the best of luck. And as your big sis, you've got this, and just don't give up, please. Please don't give up. Well, yeah, that is me over and out. And make sure, if you haven't already, to like and subscribe. And if you have any questions, make sure to comment below if you have any. I will see you on the next one. Ciao.